one can able to link up with let's say Facebooks or LinkedIn, and this becomes more handy for disseminating information across the community. And now people are looking at using this features by which the community could be built out of the whole environment. And I see that the central desktop became very popular and came in the limelight with the recent President Obama campaign of the presidential election. This tool was heavily used for doing the whole analysis and managing the whole team control and coordination for looking at how the whole sentiments are changing with the whole speeches given and what could be done to improve the performance of those campaigns. And that has led of very time sensitive, time effective manner which led to the victory of President Obama. So that has really got some cool features which Moodle should definitely look at it when we are recommending for enhancement. Now I talked about the social networking element, and today if you look at Moodle is severely lacking on that. So we are not able to widely expose the tool for networking basically in terms of blogging or the wikis, and I mean of course Moodle has a wiki, but it's not that extensive in terms of publishing information and exposing with the blogs and having my personal kind of forum on those. And it has got voice conferencing, so it gives interfaces to most of the voice over IP telephony, which is the Skype or Yahoo Messengers and most of the tools which gives you the voice conferencing facilities. And it does have the security and access control, but at a very high level. I mean, the fact that this has been developed, designed, aimed at the small and medium enterprise, so it doesn't offer the fine-grained security access and looking at identity management or access control to the users, but it has got the LDAP access and security, whereby it does have some kind of a user authentication for which it just will clear the filters and then provide the access to those contents. Looking at the content management, it has a restricted use of content. It doesn't have the extensive content manager repository which enterprise environments should be looking at it, but it does give the file management at a very high level. So one can have the version control of the files, or authentication of security of the files, where I can probably restrict you to have read-only and not write on the documents and content. At the same time, you have a different level of access of those contents by which the administrator can restrict the usage of those contents. But it does provide the search capability. So today, if I have to look at the Moodle, we struggle where our contents are. And it is very flat in terms of posting the content. But in Central Desktop, I found some very cool features whereby it's a simple like Google search. You just put a search and it references all the content with a similar context which has been put in there. And that makes the collaborating environment much easier to access and bring the whole content in the real-time environment. Because you are looking at, without any content on your desk, you are looking at everything on real-time, online, and at that time search becomes very relevant and important. It gives integration to most of the Office desktop environment, like of Outlook. And that becomes very interesting if one has got calendaring or very familiar with the email and with all, suddenly it saves into your Outlook calendar. So if you're setting up your web meeting or if you're setting up your workspace-based discussion forum, it's already put onto Outlook calendar. So that becomes very, very reminding and becomes very productive at times for the team collaboration in a different time zone with a different kind of geographical environment. And the most important part of it is the software as service. So you pay as you go. So it's a software which is commercial software, it's not open source, but people can sign up straight away with a limited access of 5 users to start with, and then build as the community grows. And now I probably call Adam for the other tool.
One of the other tools that we analyzed for coming up with enhancements to Moodle was Basecamp. Basecamp by 37 Signals is one of the most famous online collaboration tools used by big companies like Best Buy and Segway to manage specific projects. What it aims to do is focus on the actual project task lists and the files that you'll be editing and working on, and allows any number of users to work on it. The biggest benefit of Basecamp is its price. Any plan, even the trial plan, you can add unlimited number of users. So whether your project has 10 members or 10,000, they can all work at the same time. Another thing that Moodle lacks, as I pointed before, is privacy and permission control. And this is the second biggest benefit of Basecamp. What it does is, not for the first time, but among the first people, allow the client to be part of the project. Before, when you were working for a client, you would work on a project and say, we'll show you a demonstration in 1 week. With this, the client can be part of the project, and they can see all these tabs, all these sections like files, timeline, or messages, and you can restrict what they can see. So the client can go anytime, whether it's 2 a.m. or 2 p.m., and see what the status is, instead of waiting for you to come back to them. What this allows is for them to stop you anytime and say, this is not what I want, can you change it? So it doesn't waste time. That's one of the best features. API allows for advanced programming interface. What it does is allow outside applications to integrate and tap into the Basecamp database and access anything. For example, if you want billing software, you want Basecamp to be the single interface where you can send invoices to any client, or in the case of an educational environment, you want to send emails. Outside applications can easily tap in for free into Basecamp, and you can create your own applications and basically extend Basecamp anytime without any extra fee. Another good point about Basecamp versus Moodle that we would like to see in Moodle is multiple points of access. What we would like for Moodle is to display properly in iPhone, Windows mobile phones, Androids, and even tablet PCs that are built just for surfing the internet, like the new one that is coming out by TechCrunch. We would like it to display properly. Basecamp displays properly on a lot of different platforms. We would like that in Moodle. Another good point about Basecamp is milestone performance tracking. You can actually input your performance in a project, so you can say I'm 37% done. So other people can say, okay, you're on track, or they can tell you, okay, you're falling behind. Can we help you in some manner? This is also where the client comes in. Client can say, okay, you're only 57% done and the project is due tomorrow. What can be done? So this is a really good incentive. The client can check it anytime. And in our case, project team members or an instructor in Moodle can check where the team is or where the students are for a project. Consistency is another feature, just like Central Desktop, where all the navigation, if you can see, everything looks the same. All the headers, colors, and backgrounds on every page is the same. So if you know how to navigate one page, you know how to navigate everything else. So the learning curve for this is, if you want to stretch it, no more than half an hour, and you know how to navigate the whole thing. Another tool that we consider is Google Docs. It's run and managed by Google, and one of the best features in it is that it focuses on actual document creation and editing within your browser. And it's very powerful in that aspect. It allows as many users as you want to manage and control any file, and as you can see from this image, it's basically a full-featured word processor. You can have HTML, you can have images, you can have everything all within your browser. Works in all browsers, including older versions of Internet Explorer. And this allows anyone to not have any extra special software, or even if they're in a computer lab or at the airport on a terminal access, they can access this and work on anything and edit it. Revision control is another one of Google Docs' best points. If someone makes a change, all the other team members can see what changes they made, and they can revert back to a previous change in case of any problem. Multiple document format support. What Google allows is to have almost an unlimited number of formats to be imported in. You can import PDF, Word documents, Oral Office, or other documents, and it saves it online in its own format. And it also allows exporting. So anything you create here, you can export it to a PDF or anything else that your organization uses on a bigger scale and use it anywhere else. We would like to see this feature in Moodle too, where we can actually create documents within Moodle instead of uploading something and making sure that everyone, for example, has the same version of PowerPoint that we can open on Word.